before I leave this earth, I want to be in a, and I always say this, I want to be in a time where there are no longer any firsts for women, for Arab women. All the firsts have been done.
All been done, yeah.
All of it.
Achieved, yeah.
That's the legacy I want to be. Because if we don't have anyone who has crossed the finish line yet, then the race is not there.
Hi everyone, this is Tash from Follow Alice, and we're here with the wonderful Raha Moharrak in Bali. And we're here to talk about the fact that Raha has completed all of the world's 7 summits.
Very lucky.
Yeah, and awesome as well.
Thank you.
Not just lucky. And the first woman to actually summit Mount Everest. Yeah, awesome. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
In beautiful Bali.
And beautiful Bali. It couldn't be anywhere better right now. So the first question to get everything started would just tell us a little bit more about yourself and who is Raha?
I always struggle to explain who I am because I'm a bit of a layered cake. I'm a graphic designer, I'm an adventurer, I'm an athlete, an advocate, a spokesperson. It's like a cocktail of different things, and it's hard for me to put into one sentence.
Yeah.
So I'm like a chameleon, so it's really hard for me to explain. But in essence, I guess I'm an adventurer. I'm a curious soul that just wants to try and experience the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
a great answer.
It's really hard to explain.
It is hard when you're interested in so many different things. Yeah, that's
really
great.
hard.
But everyone knows you as the first Saudi woman to
They know
do
me as a mountain climber, but it's a very small portion of my life.
Yeah.
It's just the last couple of years, as opposed to my design, my studies, my bachelor's. This kind of puts you on the map, but it's an honor, to be honest. If you were to be known for something, it might as well be something epic.
Awesome.
Yeah,
definitely. So what got you started with, obviously you've got all of these things that you did before, your studies, your graphic design. What got you started and interested in mountaineering?
I was always a very adventurous child. And I think I always knew I was going to be one of those people that explores the world. I just never imagined it would manifest into mountain climbing. And a lot of people ask me, when did it start? And I can't put a finger on when exactly it started. I think I was always adventurous, and I was always very outgoing in my endeavors to find new things. So I've always been like this. It had a big bang, because when you do big mountains and you're in the news, then you're known for that. So people associated the start of my career with Everest.
Right.
Even though I've been like this my whole life.
Your whole life, you're just like, it's me, yeah.
Yeah, it's my family, and they're like, yeah, we kind of expected you to do something like that. So it's always been there. And I always tell people the majority of things that you are meant to do in life, because there are some things that you're not meant to do, because there are other more important things that come your way. Everything is in you, everything you're born with. There's nothing that you have to go and find. Everything is inside you. So you have to have that sense of wanting to live that epic life, whatever it is.
So you'd say that adventurous part of you is always been there. Always been there. It's just a matter of it coming out and exploring.
In this way.
Yeah, in this way. Amazing. And you touched on your family.
Yeah.
How, I know, in terms of like starting as a woman as well, like just traveling on your own. I mean, for me especially, it's been a big thing. People saying you're going alone, but like doing what you've done.
And I'm not going alone down the street. I'm going to like climbing in Mexico, or going to where was I last time? I went to I lived with eagle hunters for like 10 days in Mongolia. Yeah. Just in a tent with them.
And what a
they
family
think I'm nuts.
and friends say
nuts. They think I'm absolutely insane. I knew that my dad has given up when he no longer asks me, where are you in terms of the city? He just calls and says, where are you now in terms of continent? Which continent?
Not even country.
Not even country.
No,
just continent. Europe, okay. So, but it takes a long time for you to break out of the mold. A long time. Because a lot of girls message me on social media and ask me for advice, especially in the Middle East. I want to do this, but I'm afraid. And my dad. And I tell them baby steps. Even Mount Everest was climbed one step at a time. So don't suddenly tell your dad, I want to go do this crazy thing. No, start slow and slowly build up into who you want to be. And
what other advice would you give to, say, for instance, women, women from the Middle East that would, want to take this first step?
Um, it's really, I have many things to tell them, but I think the majority of people, and I say this a lot, the majority of people are too afraid to fail, hence they're too afraid to start. They have a fear of failure that keeps them at bay from actually trying, and that's one of the biggest things you need to get over. You will eventually fail. It's completely normal. It's part of life. It's a rite of passage. It's normal. Don't be ashamed of it. Just learn from it and get up and try again. And one of my favorite things is favorite stories in this example of this advice is someone was complaining to my mom that I have lots of bruises and cuts in my legs, which I do. I mean, I'm a mountain climber, volleyball player.
Yeah.
I got bumps.
Yeah.
So she was like, yeah, but look at that. And I was like, every single one of them is a story, and I'm proud of every single one of them.
Yeah.
So we should never be ashamed of our scars. We should never be ashamed of where we came from. Those who don't go far are the ones who should be ashamed, and those are the ones that are too afraid to start. So there's no shame in failing. The only shame is in not starting and giving up.
Yeah, and not having tried.
And not having tried.
Yeah.
Like most people are like, yeah, but I'm afraid. I'm like, good.
Take the jump.
It's good that you're afraid. It means it means something to you. There's nothing in this world that's valuable comes easy. But almost nothing.
And your first big step was Mount Kilimanjaro.
No, I think my big step started years ago.
Right. Okay.
With wanting to scuba dive, wanting to skydive, horseback riding, all of these things started when I was a kid. But the first big step into mountaineering was pretty big step.
Yeah.
Kilimanjaro.
The roof of Africa.
It wasn't like a little.
Yeah.
And Kili will forever be the crown of my. Everest is glamorous. It's Everest. It's the top of the world, and it put me on the map in terms of media. But Kili will always be the crown for me because it's what made me fall in love with mountains.
Yeah.
It's the moment I realized that I was not living my life to the full extent, and I went to Kili like it was a completely random fluke. Anybody who wants to go to Kili, please contact them or me, and I'll give you advice. Don't go on your own. I had no idea what to expect.
Right.
And I just less than 2 months I showed up at Kili, and I was badly prepared. I was hypothermic. I got snow blinds and very, very bad experience. But when I got to the roof of Africa, when I stood on top of that mountain, it changed my life. That sense of being able to dream something so big and so out of the box and live it.
And actually be at the top and be like, I've done this.
Yeah. It changed my life. And every single person should experience such a moment. Everybody. Whether it's a mountain or a hill, but you have to experience something so far out of your comfort zone for you to realize who you are.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then I knew I was going to come back and not stop. I knew.
Did you have that moment at the summit where you were right,
at the summit,
this is not the last?
Huge, monumentous feeling that this would not be the last time I felt.
So before you went to Kili, did you know that you wanted to
carry
on climbing with all of
this? I was like, interesting.
Okay,
The new Kili, I wanted to go to Tanzania and Mount Kenya was too technically experienced.
Right.
It was a high technicality for Mount Kenya, so I said, I'll pass on that. And I checked Kili and I'm like, okay, Tanzania, I've never been to Tanzania, let's go.
Let's do this.
I did dumb things, like I went to the mall and bought the cutest jacket, which was a disaster because it's not a climbing jacket, it just like had a cute button.
Yeah.
Why on earth did I buy that jacket? So I was very, very ill-prepared, but it didn't take away from the beauty of that moment in myself, realizing that there's so much more to life and there's so much more to me. And that's why Kili will always be the jewel. It's so special to me.
And you said even compared to Everest, which is obviously
Everest is gorgeous
and
monumentous, and it has the name and the drama, and it's Everest, right? But nothing was as soul touching as Kili. Nothing was.
And is that because it was your first?
I think because of my first, and the people there. The Nepalese people are incredible.
Yeah.
But you have more people, more into. I don't know how to. It's different. I remember the second day. I think we got to our camp, and there was a they were singing. All the guides were standing there singing, and I can still remember how I felt that moment. It's a life-changing mountain.
Yeah. And with the team that were taking you up the mountain, you were saying there's like interaction with the singing, and it's like, how did you find that experience with the mountain crew behind you? Because there's a lot of people that help you up the mountain.
I mean, if you were dealing with people that weren't nice, you wouldn't want to go back to climbing.
Right.
And I'll never forget my guide. His name was Sam. I used to call him Sam the man. His name was Sam, and he was very patient, and he made me fall in love with mountaineering. He was, and this is my advice to tell anyone who wants to climb mountains, Kili or any other mountain. There are 2 words you need to remember. Pole, pole.
Yes.
Wear them as earrings. We have a saying in Arabic, wear it as earrings.
Okay.
Wear those as earrings. Pole, pole, which means slowly, slowly.
Yeah.
And that is how you should do everything on the mountain. Everything is slowly, slowly.
Right. And that's because of the altitude, or
because of the altitude, you're so not used to the environment. You don't know how your body will react. You need to listen to your body. A big mistake people do on Kili when they go is they race each other.
Right.
They try to be
try and get to the top.
To get to the top. If they see someone who's ahead, they try to go on their speed. But you have your own speed. Every human being has their own speed. So never race with anyone. Remember that the only thing that you are competing against is yourself. So you don't have to be better or worse than someone else. A lot of people have that arrogance and attitude throughout mountain climbing. I've experienced this throughout mountain climbing. People are just, but I want to be fast and I want to be first and I want to be... Yeah, but what's more important than being fast at first is being good and being healthy.
Being safe.
And being safe.
Yeah.
So that's my advice to them.
And would that be like, because I know the altitude on Kili is one of the...
The last day when the last push to the summit, I mean, when you get to Stella Point, if you go through Machame,
is that the route that you...
I did Machame,
right.
because there's Machame Coca-Cola, and there's one more, I think.
Lemosho?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did Machame, so when you get to Stella Point, that push is a serious altitude gain. Serious altitude gain for a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So if you're not very well adapted and very well acclimated, you're gonna hit Stella Point and you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
Because it's a good place to rest. You can sit and you're gonna crash. What's very important is to get to Stella Point with enough energy and state of mind for you to continue walking. I don't know how far it is to the... I remember it's to the left and then it curves. Have you been?
I'm actually going in August.
Oh, wow.
So this is why I'm so excited.
Good
This
advice.
is I'm like
Yeah.
just soaking in all the
Any
advice.
advice you need.
Yeah. Awesome. So I'd love to know more about, like, because obviously you've done all 7 of the summits, which is amazing in itself.
Looking back on that.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
How have I done all of that? Have you got a favourite?
Ooh, no, I can't choose. Every one of them was special for a different reason. Kili was the first one. It's very special. Everest was very special because it was the first time I put my crampons on and I stepped on ice. The first time I felt that crunch of steel on ice was on Everest. So that was very special for me to fall in love with ice that way. Aconcagua was extremely high, very, very high mountain. Vincent Massif in Antarctica, it's in Antarctica.
That's crazy.
Yeah. When you tell people I went to Antarctica, or when I say the 7 summits, they say, and Antarctica, I'm like,
I've done that one.
Yeah. You land on a sheet of ice with this big Russian plane called the Ilyushin,
right?
That has a glass cockpit that used to have a gun in it. And it hits you.
That's how you get
it hits you that you're going to, and then you land and it's like...
Where do you fly from to get to there?
For me, it was Jeddah, Dubai, Madrid, Santiago, Punta Arena, Ushuaia, Antarctica, 60 hours.
60?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then on the way...
It was worth it though.
It was absolutely worth it. And on the way back, I was literally a year older. It was my birthday. Literally.
Yeah.
I was leaving, we were delayed, weather delayed, and I was leaving, it was my birthday. And I was literally a year older by the time I landed back in my home.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, 60 hours, it was long.
Would you say that's the one, when people talk to you about the 7 summits, they're most intrigued by or interested
Everest.
by? Everest. Yeah.
Everyone's intrigued by Everest. But what's sad, what's happening now is that Everest is losing its prestige.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it because of the crowds?
Because it's become a billionaire club. If you can pay for it, you can go.
Right.
Most people just pay for it and don't have the experience. And they can go.
For the novelty of having said,
for the
I'm
novelty
going to get to the top.
I can get to the top. And a lot of them aren't mountaineers and aren't really passionate about mountain climbing. They just do Everest. And it's kind of okay to each his own, but it really clogs the climb with people that have no business being up there.
Right.
If you don't know how to put a crampon on, you shouldn't be on the mountain.
Shouldn't be there, yeah.
Just because you can pay someone to put it on for you doesn't mean that
you
should be there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm torn between, because I have my really dear friends who guide Everest.
Yeah.
So they are one of the reasons why Everest is so full. But I respect them dearly, and I respect their opinion. But it's become a bit of a topic. You know that this season 10 people died in 1 week.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that because of the inexperience? Or?
It's traffic jam. Inexperienced people who go and don't have enough oxygen, and ill-prepared teams. Multitude of reasons.
Multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
And with all of your experience, has there been a moment where you've been scared on a mountain, off the mountain?
Many. But I think the experience that takes the cake on that is Denali the first time. So I had to do Denali twice. So the first time I attempted Denali, it was a disaster. It was a train wreck from the beginning. A week before I was heading off to Alaska, my guide, who was a friend of mine, who guided me in Vincent, passed away in an avalanche with his assistant guide and I think 4 or 6 clients.
Right.
All of them died.
Okay.
In a single avalanche.
So you're thinking.
And I'm flying to meet him, and he passed away. Yeah. And then I was given, the company couldn't take me anymore, so they gave me to another company because I had already paid. I had my visa, I had my flights, I had everything ready.
Yeah.
Even though my gut told me, no, like just run for the hills.
Yeah.
Like, hills is a bad example. Like go to the beach, just go to Bali. I pushed because I felt bad because I had paid everything.
Yeah.
And I went anyway, and it was one of the worst decisions of my life. It was a disaster. The team was horrible.
Right. In what way?
Very inexperienced climbers. I was the youngest one in the team, but I was one of the most prepared.
Right.
A lot of them didn't speak English, which is not a problem usually. But when you're climbing and you need people to talk to, you need to have a common language.
Yeah.
The guide wasn't good. The weather was horrible. It's just all
Just all of the factors combined. Right. But no regrets or.
I'll get back to that.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I completely stopped climbing for 2 years.
Right.
Completely. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this, and I threw my boots. I'm like, But I couldn't. Me being me, I couldn't just let it go. So I trained really hard, saved up the money, and went back.
Right. Oh, you did it again?
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
I got it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was my last one.
You're like, because you wanted to like refresh your experience, or just.
I didn't want it to get the best of me.
Right.
I didn't want me to get the best of me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was lucky. I went back.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Oh, it was so hard to go back to that place because it was mentally.
Mentally challenging.
You get cabin fever, so if you're stuck in a tent for like a week.
Yeah.
A tiny tent with 2 people for a week.
Yeah, it's a lot.
24 hours sun.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's okay, you can start with Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
It's another experience.
And you said about the team that you climbed with.
Yeah.
How did you go about each of the times that you climbed a mountain? How did you choose?
I always advise people to stick with the same company so that they know their climbing pedigree.
Right.
So I pretty much, besides the last, I think 2, which is the last one and the first one, I did all in the same company.
Okay.
They know me. The guides know me. They know who you are.
Right.
They know your strengths and weaknesses. So it's good to do it that way.
Right. And are the guides the same in the
I was
different,
lucky. I tried to get the guides I liked and the guides I knew.
Right.
Sometimes it was new guides, and it depends also on season.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, very, very true.
But the best advice, and I get a lot of people messaging me on social media saying, I want to climb Everest. Where do I start? And I always say the stairs.
Yeah.
Because they come like, I want to do this mountain. And like, great. What have you climbed? And they don't even do any sport. And it's not right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get a message from a girl telling me I want to climb. And I give her this advice. And then 3 years later, this year, I get a picture of her on Everest.
Wow.
So she did put the time.
Yeah.
She trained.
Yeah. That's really nice to see that your advice is then
implemented. I don't know if she took my advice or not, but she made it.
Yeah, definitely. And what would you say? Obviously, you're an adventurous woman. What's the next plan?
Oof. I don't know. I've always been curious about different cultures. I'll always do that. That's kind of part of my my normal job now. Like I find I'm trying to go to Tibet this year. If I get a permit in time.
Yeah.
But that's just like I'll continue to hike. I'll continue to explore. I've been trying to get my book out because I really think the Arab world, especially girls, would benefit from something like that. And I've always had a childhood dream of going to space. And I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'll try.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're aren't they starting like a...
We just started a program, because we started a program
in
back home, so we'll see.
Well, if anyone's going to do it, I think it will be you.
I'll give it a shot. But I think the idea is to have passionate goals, wherever they are.
Yeah, and that's a really good goal to have.
I think people forget, like, sometimes people do the mistake and say, okay, now that Everest is done, what do you want to do? And I say, why do people think that? Why do
limit themselves?
Yeah, why do you think that Everest is the thing or there's nothing sadder than a goal reached and not a goal that follows.
Yeah.
Not like you reach a goal and then, so it's always important to
and now that's it. I'm done now. Yeah.
You live your life with that. It's so important to have a passion that drives you, and that's why whenever I say what drives me the most, I say it's curiosity. I say that all the time. I live curiously, like whatever curiosity might take me, whether it's
just in everything.
In everything.
Yeah.
I think we are born with a beautiful, curious mind, but society and culture and social norms and social pressure pushes down your childish curiosity, which is a beautiful thing. And we tend to lose it around in our teens. I've watched a lot of kids when I spoke at schools. They're really, really interested in their teens. They're not interested.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So I think we start losing them that age.
Around
so it's
then.
very important to have parents that drive that. It's very important to have individuals that are aware that the world is bigger than just social media and selfies. And it's very important. Yeah, social media is an amazing tool. It's a fantastic tool, but it has two edges.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be what defines our generation, and it's defining the next generation in a very scary way.
Yeah.
It should be a tool to share. It should be a tool to amplify, not a tool to amplify the bad. It should be a tool to amplify the good.
And share your achievements and inspire. Yeah.
Share, not torment. And
Yes.
Because people get viral. I'm like, yes, but when it's viral and it's horrible, it's not viral, it's abuse.
Yes.
So it's very important to have that compass and learn to be a genuine curious person who wants to live a full life.
And with that, you touched on on having parents that will support you in your dreams. How are your parents? When you first started as well, was it a challenge?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
When I first started, they were like, my dad was like, you want to do what? You want to live in a tent in Africa for a week? Why? Why? And I'm like, because it's something new. He's like, but why? Why? Go to London, go shopping there. Like, and I'm like, I don't want to go. Go to Paris with your mom. I don't want to go there. I want to go live in a tent. It's the same thing when I went to Mongolia. He was like, just when I thought you have done everything crazy.
You do one more thing.
Yeah. And his accent's pretty good at this, but in my mind, that's how he sounds like.
Yeah.
Like, concerned father, adult father. But it's important to have honest conversation with your parents as well, because a lot of people are teens, need parental support to explore. Tell them, I feel like doing this summer. How about you take me here? How about you take me there? As opposed to just getting dragged into whatever. Be more assertive
with what you want. Yeah, definitely. So Raha, if you could have a legacy or leave a legacy behind, what would it be?
A lot of people would assume that it's climb Everest or whatever. But in reality, it's quite simple. I want to be remembered as one of the first who lived her life. One of the first who actually broke the mold and became who she really is, as opposed to Everest or whatever. But I want to be remembered for that. I want to be remembered. I want my grandkids to say, my grandma was one of the first to do this and that. And it doesn't have to be a big mountain. It can be anything. And I want to, before I leave this earth, I want to be and I always say this, I want to be in a time where there are no longer any firsts for women, for Arab women. All the firsts have been done.
All been done, yeah.
All of it.
Achieved, yeah.
That's the legacy I want to be. Because if we don't have anyone who has crossed the finish line yet, then the race is not fair.
Yeah.
If you still don't have equal starting lines for everybody, then this is not the world I would want to be behind. I want one day when I have future kids, whether they're males or female, they would have an equal footing in life.
Yeah.
So the legacy I want to leave is that, to prove that you can be from wherever country. I mean, I was born in the sand, but I managed to touch the sky. So that's the legacy I want to leave behind. Not names, not records. That's
just that feeling and that ambition. And
she lived her life
the
way she wanted to the fullest. That's the thing, Forget all the names. That's what I want to be remembered for.
That's awesome.
And great hair.
Yeah. Oh, that as well.
Not really now, actually, with this humidity. It doesn't really often look like this, but I'm in Bali.
We're all dealing with it.
But all jokes aside, hopefully one day I'll be remembered for that.
I'm sure you will be. You definitely will be.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really
me.
appreciate it. Thank you so much. So thanks so much, Raha, for coming and meeting us today. Really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So guys, if you want to learn more about Kilimanjaro or anything that we've spoken about today, please do follow us, link below. And Raha has awesome content, so do check her socials out, links below as well. Also, I'm actually climbing Kilimanjaro myself in a couple of months, so if you want to follow my journey, thank you, I need it. If you want to follow my journey, also I'll be putting links and things around here below. So check it out, and thanks for watching.